Welcome to GH Soap Opera Today, your place for the latest drama, updates, and spoilers from General Hospital. Like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the action. In addition to Jack spying on Carly in bed, Cassius makes a grave mistake with Joss. Sonny gives Britt assistance, Brick sees Jordan, and the Savoy prepares to host Michael James Scott today on General Hospital. Curtis informs Jordan at General Hospital that he will call Trina to inform her that he will not be attending the Savoy tonight, but Jordan won't let him go back since he insists he deserves a great night out. Jordan appears depressed when Curtis departs and can't stop thinking about the tragedy. Brick then shows up with flowers, which makes her feel better. He then uses his unique flair for exaggeration to tell her stories about his most recent spy exploits. Britt explains Joss to Cassius. In Britt's office, Cassius inquires as to how long his sister has been aware of Joss's membership in the WSB. It has been since the 5 Poppies, and she remained silent out of fear that Cullum or Sidwell would murder her. Cassius is curious as to how Cullum was unaware of this. Britt explains that Joss works for Brennan, who has kept her off Cullum's radar. She then tells him that Joss is interested in Faison, not him, and that she found a copy of their father's book at Windmere. Britt advises Cassius to stay away from Joss like the plague going forward. When he asks how well she knew Nathan, Britt replies that she didn't, so they don't need her interfering with the project's completion. Cassius is adamant that she won't. Other plans for Joss. When Joss gets home, Trina tells her to change quickly for the Savoy and Michael James Scott. Joss completely forgets and says she needs to study and finish an assignment, but Trina says it's only one night and she will regret not seeing Michael. Joss begs Trina to go ahead without her, and she will try to be there. Eventually, Trina leaves. Broadway arrives in Port Charles. Half of Port Charles has assembled at the Savoy to watch Michael James Scott from Aladdin play, socialize before to the event, and strike up a conversation. Just as BLQ is about to bring up adopting Phoebe to Chase, Cody and Molly interrupt and talk to Chase and Brooklyn. Molly says she has heard that Turner is pressuring the PCPD to find the other driver in Jordan's accident. Chase says they have a small lead, but nothing concrete. Brooklyn becomes agitated and says they should be having fun, not talking shop. In another scene, Trina and Kai speak with Curtis and Trina expresses gratitude to her father for doing this at such short notice considering everything he's going through. Later, as the others are in the bar, Trina runs into Brooklyn, who is by herself with Cody. Brooklyn hopes that Trina would take her up regarding her office to set her up for a singer showcase, which is similar to a pre-audition. Trina says she'll consider the offer over and rushes off to locate Kai. Brooklyn says she's simply been overwhelmed recently by Phoebe and her uncertain future, and Cody tells her that he's always here for her. Cody observes that Brooklyn seems tense tonight, which reminds him of the time she requested him to bring her to the train station all those years ago at Camp Martha. When Kai asks Gio and Trina when they plan to collaborate on another open mic night, Trina responds that she will need to gather her courage. However, she mentions that Brooklyn believes she could pursue a career in music and has offered to assist her. Emma believes she should accept the offer, and Kai's confident Trina would be a huge success. In the kitchen, what's cooking? When Carly gets home with supplies, she shocks Valentin by telling him that he will prepare a delicious steak dinner for them. She prefers medium rare. She acknowledges that she was a little harsh, and he's happy that she can admit when she's wrong. Carly scrunches her face as he prepares the meal, assuming this is her attempt to repent for coming down on him for phoning the clinic about Anna. He thinks Anna might have information on Cullum that will help them, but Carly accuses him of phoning the clinic because of his feelings for Anna. He observes now that she's just envious. Carly insists she wasn't wrong, and he might as well have posted a neon sign above her house warning others that he was here. A heated disagreement breaks out as Carly tells Valentin that she didn't ask him to come here and that she is risking her freedom for him. Valentin responds that she is correct, claims that this isn't working, and storms out. Valentin goes to the attic, where he and Carly start smashing and damaging things. Eventually, they rush back to each other, kiss, and go to her bedroom. Jack gives Sonny something to contemplate. At his office, Sonny assures Jack that it has nothing to do with him if his relationship with Carly is failing. Their conversation shifts to Jason allegedly shooting Cullum. Sonny doesn't believe that Jason would do such a thing, and Jack claims that Britt ID'd him, which is sufficient for the WSB to imprison him for life. Jack then leaves in a rage. When Sonny arrives at GH to visit Britt, he informs her that Jack has informed him that Jason is in a black site in Jakarta. Britt thanks him for keeping her informed. Sonny then brings up the night at the dock, knowing that Jason was defending someone, which Britt claims he was. Back at Carly's, She and Valentin hit the sheets while Jack storms up to the bedroom after breaking in downstairs and seeing the wreckage in the kitchen. He notices 2 wine glasses. Cassis stumbles. At Joss's house, she calls Crimson to surreptitiously ascertain Nina's whereabouts that night. She subsequently intends to do the same with Nathan. At that point, Nathan, that is, Cassius, arrives at her door. Nathan says he's coming to see whether she still wants to be a gym buddy when Joss invites him in. She says she was just talking to Nina about the same subject and apologizes for bringing up his dad so much the other day. Joss tells Nathan that she's glad he's with Lulu, but she's shocked he didn't reconcile with Maxie. She claims Nina gushed about his and Maxie's love and that memorable 4th of July moment when they were handcuffed together. Nathan stumbles but responds, "Oh yeah, how could I forget that?" In the last moments of the show. At GH, Brick urges Jordan to relax, gives her a cheek kiss, and expresses his belief that she will overcome this. He then leaves. In her office, Brick gives Sunny the impression that Jason was watching out for her and that he told her to tell the police that he shot Cullum. Sunny assures her that he will do everything in his power to protect her while Jason is away, so call him if she needs him. Britt thanks him but maintains that she is okay. He says she knows how to get in touch with him if she decides to change her mind. Curtis talks to Chase and Brooklyn at the Savoy. Brooklyn apologizes for Jordan's accident, and Curtis says he's counting on the PCPD to track down the other car's driver. Curtis yells that if the other driver had stopped, they wouldn't have been stranded for so long. Jordan's burns wouldn't have been as severe and Jordan might have died. When Molly's editor texts her about going on a book tour, Cody demands to accompany her as her roadie. While Emma and Gio are kissing and recalling their vacation to New York, Michael James Scott texts Trina to let her know he will be there soon. Trina hopes Joss doesn't miss this. She tells Nathan at Joss's house that she will text him the following week to arrange a gym schedule, but he recommends they do it now. She says she needs to get a run in before it's too late, and he grabs her wrist and says, "It's already too late." At last, Jack huffs and puffs outside Carly's bedroom door, storms in, and discovers her in bed by herself. Jack growls, "Where is he?" Michael James Scott will perform at the Savoy on the upcoming General Hospital. For additional spoilers, see our weekly preview roundup. Brennan's repercussions for Carly. Cassius becomes evil toward Jocelyn. While Cassius Faison, also known as Nathan West, Ryan Pavey takes a dangerous turn with Jocelyn Jax Eden McCoy. Jack Brennan Chris McKenna will vent his rage on Carly Spencer Laura Wright. Curtis Ashford Donnell Turner will present the incomparable and extraordinary Michael James Scott on stage at the Savoy. When Michael sings a jazzy rendition of Friend Like Me, Port Charles will get a taste of the Aladdin Broadway musical, in which he plays Genie. Now that Nathan has held her arm and prevented her from leaving, Jocelyn will continue to be shocked at her apartment. Nathan is prepared to acknowledge that he is aware that Jocelyn is a WSB agent and will insist that he cannot let her go. Cassius must continue to play the nice guy Nathan, according to Britt Westbourne Kelly Thiebaud, but it appears he may take a different tack and become evil with Jocelyn instead. Nathan would caution Jocelyn to quit being so curious if she wants to survive because Ross Cullum Andrew Hawks will kill her if he discovers she is a member of the WSB. Pascal Mark Forget will inform Lucas Jones Van Hansis that he shouldn't be in Windermere. There will be additional tension on Monday's GH episode, since Pascal will undoubtedly keep blaming Lucas for Marco Rios' Adrian Anchondo death. Ava Jerome Mora West will inquire about the situation as soon as she and Jen Sidwell Carlo Roeder enter. Pascal might ultimately stomp off, but Sidwell will undoubtedly have questions as well. But Cassius made Sidwell think that Lucas might be to blame for Marco's terrible destiny, so Sidwell might have that notion in the back of his mind on Monday's show. Just before Brennan stormed into the bedroom, Carly had another sexual encounter with Valentin Cassadine James Patrick Stewart. When Brennan showed there, Valentin was no longer in bed with Carly, so Jack simply demanded to know where he was. Although Brennan only found out about Carly's extramarital affair from Jocelyn, Carly may be concerned that he is aware of Valentin. Even though Carly's new partner isn't in the room with her right now, Brennan has proof. Did you truly believe that there would be no repercussions? On Monday's preview video, Brennan aggressively asks Carly. Carly will face some retribution for her infidelity, but if Brennan spots Valentin and discovers who her mystery man is, things can get worse. Will Brennan be able to apprehend Valentin before he has a chance to flee? According to General Hospital teasers, Monday's episode will be a must-watch, so tune in for all the surprising revelations and heated exchanges. General Hospital spoilers. Is Cassius the key to James and favorite Liesel Albrecht returned to General Hospital this week, and viewers can't help but wonder if she was aware that her son Cassius had been taking Nathan's identity all along. When we discovered that Nathan West was a fraud, Kathleen Gotti's character was out of town. Albrecht's actions are beginning to sound strange now that we know that's not Nathan. Is she taking use of her deceased son's twin for personal gain? How is Albrecht unaware? We have more questions than answers now that General Hospital has identified Cassius as Ryan Pavey. Wouldn't Liesl Albrecht recall having 2 boys rather than just one? More significantly, after all these years, where has Cassius been? Since Nathan came back to life, his mother, Dr. Liesl Albrecht, has been ecstatic. Albrecht enjoys being a grandma and is somewhat enamored with James, the son of Nathan, and Maxie Jones Kirsten Storms. Albrecht was ecstatic to see Maxie again, and even encouraged her son to get back together with his ex-wife. It appeared as though she believed Cassius to be Nathan. But was she deceiving everyone? Albrecht's intentions. Cassius appears to be following directions from WSB villains while working for them. But could his mother have planned the whole thing? Maxie Jones was in a coma when Nathan/Cassius got to Port Charles, and his stepfather Spinelli Bradford Anderson was raising his kid. Albrecht wasn't as active in James's life and didn't get to see him as frequently as she does today. Did she bring back a phony Nathan to see her grandson? Bringing his father back would make all the difference if Albrecht was worried that Maxie Jones wouldn't wake up. Albrecht might even take Cassius to court to get custody of James, as Nathan West was, of course, Nathan West. Do you suppose Liesl knew Nathan was actually Cassius all along? Did she arrange the whole exchange? Post your theories below. Spoilers for General Hospital. Elizabeth solves the puzzle and reveals to Dante who actually shot Cullum. Elizabeth Baldwin Rebecca Herbst could be the answer to the mystery of who actually shot Ross Cullum Andrew Hawks, according to General Hospital spoilers and updates. Furthermore, she may share her conclusions with Dante Falconeri Dominic Zamprogna, the father of Rocco Falconeri's Finn Carr. Elizabeth witnessed Britt Westbourne approaching Rocco outside Cullum's room. Elizabeth overheard most of what Britt Westbourne Kelly Thibault said when she confronted Rocco outside Cullum's room. Britt was trying to shield Rocco from the repercussions. Elizabeth might not consider a WSB director to be threatening, but Britt is aware that Cullum is deadly and unclean. He wouldn't think twice about killing Rocco. Because she didn't want to attract Cullum's attention, Britt scared her surrogate son so much that she warned him to avoid her. However, Cullum is aware that this is untrue, despite the fact that Jason Morgan Steve Burton essentially set himself up for Cullum's shooting by covering for Rocco. As Cullum approached Jason from the front, prepared to strike him with a retractable baton, he was shot in the rear. Rocco can't stop checking on Cullum because his guilt is consuming him. Elizabeth believes that Britt overreacted because Rocco's guilt is consuming him, and he can't stop checking on Cullum. Cassius Faison Ryan Pavey even got into his first altercation with Lulu Spencer Alexa Havens-Bruning because he was equally concerned about Rocco's persistent presence in Cullum's hospital room as Britt was. For his own safety, he intended to send Rocco away. This is not unprecedented. When there was danger, Sonny Corinthos Maurice Bernard did the same with his and Carly Spencer's Laura Wright children. Cullum even questioned Elizabeth about Jason and threatened her because he knew where Jake Weber was in Hudson West and recognized that Jason couldn't have shot him. When Elizabeth discovers that Jason was covering for Rocco, she informs Dante. Elizabeth informs Dante that Jason was acting as Rocco's stand-in, but she is perplexed as to why Britt believes Cullum is so dangerous. Even before the incident, Dante was suspicious about Cullum's arrest warrant, and he might find out from someone that Cullum is unscrupulous. After Elizabeth shares her suspicions with Dante, he will probably question Lulu and possibly Nathan if they have any information. A family gathering might be called because, according to recent GH spoilers, Sonny Corinthos Maurice Bernard approaches Britt, which must be related to Rocco. Naturally, if anyone else finds out, this will put Lulu and Nathan in a difficult situation and complicate Rocco's community service. GH spoilers. Has Liesl figured out Cassius based on her terrifying flashbacks? Liesl Albrecht Kathleen Gotti will soon experience terrifying flashbacks during one or more episodes of the ABC soap opera General Hospital, according to spoilers and updates. Has Liesl figured out Cassius Faison Ryan Pavey and Nathan West Ryan Pavey's return from the dead? Liesl gave Nathan to her sister to raise, but she never mentioned twins. When Nathan was first identified as Liesl's son, viewers of General Hospital recall that she had handed Jay to her older sister Madeline Reeves Donna Mills to raise in order to keep him safe. She had also stated that his biological father was Victor Cassadine, most recently Charles Shaughnessy, but she had never brought up twins. Caesar Faison Anders Hove has 4 children, according to Britt Westbourne Kelly Thibault, who is older than her brother. But it was implied that Britt was unaware of her younger twin brothers. Only the one Liesl had given to Madeline to raise, until after she had been implicated in the 5 poppies. She knew Nathan was Cassius Faison Ryan Pavey when she first returned, but she kept it a secret and made plans for their mother to leave town. Liesl returns from the seminar that Britt arranged for her to attend. When Britt began meddling with Nathan's reunion, with Maxie Jones' Kirsten Storms, it was clear that she was trying to distract her mother from the fact that Nathan had come back from the dead. In a recent episode, Liesl appeared to be deep in thought as she hugged her son after Jocelyn Jack's Eden McCoy asked her if Nathan might have pretended to be his father to Anna Devane Finola Hughes. Other General Hospital spoilers indicate that Liesl will soon start experiencing terrifying flashbacks from the time she gave birth to her twins. It's likely that something so horrible occurred during delivery that she blocked it out. Once more, it seems that Britt was unaware of the twin until she worked on their father's cold fusion experiment at the 5 poppies and met Ross Cullum's Andrew Hawksgoon Cassius. The reason Liesl gave Victor Cassidy's name as father and Nathan to her sister. The fear of giving birth to twin boys and then having one taken away, maybe while still in the hospital, is understandable to everyone. Since Britt was unaware that she was working at the 5 poppies, this would have had to have occurred before she had an opportunity to meet her newborn brother or siblings. She never knew who had him, thus it's implied that it happened in the delivery room or perhaps in the recovery room. Liesl would have thought Faison was responsible, but she spent years following him and was unaware of her second boy's fate. Before leaving the hospital, she listed Victor as her biological father. Therefore it makes sense that she would give her surviving twin to Madeline to nurture before realizing that Nathan must be her stolen twin. Spoilers for General Hospital. Sunny seeking Britt. Will a heated argument become explosive? According to General Hospital spoilers and updates, this week on the ABC soap opera, Sunny Corinthos Maurice Bernard will confront Britt Westbourne Kelly Thiebaud and demand an explanation. By now, it's likely that Sunny has learned that Rocco Falconeri Fincar was on Pier 55 when Ross Cullum Andrew Hawks was shot. It made no sense for Sunny knew Jason to shoot Cullum. Sunny was aware that Jason Morgan's Steve Burton's shooting of Cullum was illogical and that it appeared as though he was setting himself up for the crime. He had to be hiding something for someone. Even while it would have made perfect sense for Jason to take the fall for his kid, he knew it wasn't Danny Morgan Asher and Tonizin. It's possible that someone may tell Sunny that Britt was observed physically abusing his grandson and removing him from Cullum's chamber, in which case he will demand an explanation. Sunny is aware that Rocco needs to complete community service, but he is also aware of his hand injury and questions whether it was caused by shooting a gun. Sunny is aware that shooting a gun for the first time might easily result in a gun burn or other hand injuries, so he wasn't prepared for the kickback. Sunny is also aware that Cullum was responsible for the penthouse fire that almost killed Michael. Sunny is aware that Cullum was responsible for the penthouse fire that almost killed Michael Corinthos' Chad duel, thus it will ultimately be necessary to get rid of him, but now is not the perfect moment. Sunny must look into this information when he learns that Britt was heard warning Rocco to avoid Cullum's chamber and that his life might be in danger. He connects the dots and comes to the conclusion that Rocco might have been the person Jason was covering for that evening and had obtained Cullum's gun. He simply needs Britt to confirm his suspicions, and he also wants to follow up on what he has discovered about Jason. Sunny calls Britt and requests that they meet at Pozzolo's. After assigning Ethan Lovett Nathan Dean a new task, possibly having him watch Britt and Lucy Colin Herring, Sunny calls Britt and asks her to meet him at Pozzolo's. Sunny informs her of what he has discovered regarding Jason's whereabouts, a WSB black site in Jakarta, Indonesia. This is consistent with what Jack Brennan Chris L. McKenna informed Carly Spencer Laura Wright, and it is credible. Sunny asks Britt directly if she was attempting to shield Rocco from Cullum and if Jason was shielding Rocco. Knowing that Sunny will likely be able to keep Rocco safer than she, her brother and Lulu Spencer Alexa Havens Bruning, Britt divulges the information. Thanks for watching GH Soap Opera today. For more General Hospital updates and spoilers, like, comment, subscribe and press the bell icon. See you next time.